So I've got a question for you. What is the stupidest way to break a drone without crashing it? It's to leave it in the middle of the road while you're setting it up to let it be run over by a bus. I'm back here in an area where there is basically no traffic whatsoever. There is a turnaround that buses will sometimes use just to kind of spin themselves around. But other than that, there's not much back here. So I jump out of the car, put the Avata on the ground, turn it on, let it boot up, jump back in the car. I'm not kidding. 5 seconds later, a bus comes around the corner and runs my drone over. Now, it actually split the drone with its wheels, so it was like directly in the center of the bus, but the mud flap came, kicked the drone up, and broke the back antenna. The video that you just watched actually came from my car, like the side camera was recording, so I was able to catch the carnage happen in real time. Luckily, I've got another Avata here though that will be flying because we are at probably my favorite spot right now to fly FPV at. I came here recently with my FPV drone to test out the Action 4, and even though that was a good video and I got a good lay of the land, let me just say the Avata blows that drone out of the water. Like everything from the flight characteristics to the build of the drone to the camera, the image transmission, like this is just so much more fun to fly than the FPV drone. Really, the only reason that I would fly the FPV drone over the Avata is because it's faster, right? It can carry more weight, so I can carry something like the Action 4, and while I've got Ken's mount here on the top of the Avata, this thing really just can't carry a full-size action camera. You really start to stress the drone. You hear the motors really start screaming. So today what I want to do is do a little bit more exploration of this spot that I'm in. Again, I came here with my Action 4 and the FPV drone. I'll show you a quick clip of kind of what the grounds look like, and then let's cut back to what it looked like a couple of months ago. So they're actively tearing this place down. I'm going to try to come as much as I can to try to like document what they're doing, just kind of get some cool video for myself. But also, I want to just fly this spot until it's gone, right? It's not going to be long until they take down that middle structure. And what I want to do in today's video is, even though we're going to be ripping around having some fun, I want to just like fly around slowly and check out what's inside of the building and maybe see if there's any cool gaps to fly into, because this is a really cool old abandoned structure. Another thing I love about the Avata is how compact everything is. Like with the FPV drone, I feel like there's so much to it. You've got to attach the props. You've got to bring another camera to capture better video than what the camera on the drone captures. You've got the goggles, which are much bigger, as well as the battery that dangles off the goggles. You've got the remote controller, which is more or less the same. But with the Avata, you've got the drone, the goggles, and the remote. Everything is wireless and it just works. So this, in my opinion, is much easier to manage when you're trying to set up to fly, which gives you a lower barrier to entry, whereas the FPV drone takes up a long time to set up. All right, so I don't know how many flights we're going to do in this video. I want to say 2, but maybe might be more. I'm going to just right off the bat flip into manual and just rip down here. I want to do just kind of like a quick rip along the grounds, and then I want to do again some exploring of that middle section there. So we are flying 4K 30 FPS. We've got Rocksteady turned on. It looks like they are still doing a little bit of work down here. They've got one of the machines working here. See, this right here is stuff that I just wasn't doing with the FPV drone. Like, I feel so much more comfortable getting low to the ground. The dynamic range is so much better in the camera. The transmission is far better. If you guys remember, like, look, I was such a wuss. I was trying to hit this gap with the FPV drone, and I just did it, like, first time, right? Just feels so much more natural flying this drone. All right, cool. So I want to do some exploring of this building. I'm going to flip us into sport mode. We're going to kick back here. We're just going to kind of buzz around here because, I mean, look at how intricate all the detail is, and the camera looks great. I haven't been in the goggles with the Avata in a while, but look at the overgrowth you've got happening here. We do have some low wires. This is cool. Like, this is stuff I wouldn't even do with a Mavic, just because I feel like this drone's a little bit more rugged, and I could really get in there a little bit more. I mean, look at all of the old metal, all the old ductwork. You can just imagine people walking up these steps, having to actually stand all the way up here. This is crazy. All right, let me move back a little bit. I'm going to drop the drone down. I want to look inside of some of these windows. Do you dare me to fly in here? Let's see what's inside here. Cool. Look at that. That's pretty sweet. I probably could fly right through there, right? I'm not going to, but I could. Maybe I'll work up to it, like the courage, right? I need the courage to actually do it. Cool. Look, there's actually a much bigger window over here. Let's move around to the right and look inside of here. Look at that. Man, that is cool. I will fly through these two windows if you want me to. I'm going to flip it into normal here just so that we're not herking and jerking. That is sweet. I do have a, well, I'm starting to drift a little bit back in there. I do have a ND32 filter on in here, or on the drone, so as we look inside, it might get a little bit noisy because the ISO is jumping like crazy. Again, we are filming 4K 30. I just kind of want to get some of that natural motion blur as we're flying around. But yeah, look at this. This is awesome. Is there any other little windows that we can look through? I mean, I would assume that a lot of this down here is probably open. I don't have to worry much about any wires. I know that they've taken down most of the wires just in my time flying around. Let's see what's inside of here. If I really wanted to go inside, I'd have to remove the ND filter because it would make the video look way better. So there's the garage. Could definitely fly in there. We'll take a peek inside. It's going to be so noisy, you guys. Yeah, I'm going to back out. If we really want to do some exploring inside of the buildings, I think I'm going to have to take the ND filter off, which, hey, maybe we'll do that on our next flight. When I bring the drone back, we'll be able to take off the ND filter. Yeah, look at all this. This is sweet. All right, let's see. Is there any entrances over here? Looks like a lot of the same. Let's see. Ooh, this is cool right here. Peeking inside just under there. See, like, I know that I would be able to go in here and I'd have access to the building if I needed to. I don't want to get too close. If I needed to, like, I could just drive my car in there and, like, go and pick the drone up. But I don't know if I flew through here, if I'd be able to, like, get onto the second floor, onto the second story. Like, I don't know this building. So while I'd have access, and while I probably wouldn't care because the building's just being torn down, I also don't want to risk it. Let's see. I know we have some other windows over here. All right, we're in normal. Let me flip into sport to move around a little bit more. Let's take a peek on inside here. This is pretty sweet. I love, like, urban exploration. Exploring abandoned buildings and stuff is just so much fun. Especially when they're in ruins like this. It's almost like a time capsule, right? Like, you're just kind of peeking inside, looking at what history used to be like. This obviously was such a busy plant back in the day. It takes up so much space back here, but it's just been sitting dormant forever. That's pretty sweet. Little catwalk here going across. Again, all that overgrowth. Yeah, like, this is stuff that I would, like, not be doing with my Mavic. I wouldn't be caught dead in a situation like this with my Mavic. Cool. That is pretty awesome. Alright, let's do a little bit more ripping here. Just because I got the need for speed. So we'll flip into manual. And go. Now, I've got my... Ooh, I heard the motors just go crazy. I've got my gimbal pitch set to 30 degrees. And what's great about using the Avata is you can just use the same camera. Like, you can get the video right from the camera, and you can be adjusting your gimbal pitch along the way. Whereas with the FPV drone, when you're using the Action 4 or any sort of action camera, you're kind of limited to what the gimbal pitch is of the drone, because that's what you're filming with. Or not the drone, but of... Oof! But of the action camera. That was so ugly. Let's see what this guy's doing. This guy just seems to be moving some dirt and rock. The Avata just feels so much better to fly than the FPV drone. Like, so much better. Let's do a nice little rip up and around. Woo! This drone is so much fun to fly. Like, so I'd mentioned in my FPV drone video when I came to the same spot, like, I feel like a lot of my shots aren't deliberate. Like, I'm just kind of flying for fun. But sometimes that's just the best. Like, just to get out in an open area like this and just cruise around. Let's see. Here we come. I didn't even feel the wind on that one. Yeah, like, this thing is just so much fun to fly. So the Avata, I feel like it's a time warp, right? It's been out for like a year and a half to 2 years. Maybe even less than that, quite frankly. And an Avata 2 would be a ton of fun. This is sweet. Like, this is just, this, for me, like, having flown Mavics for so long, really the thing that I love about the camera drones is just being able to take photos and videos and being able to come home and, you know, look at those photos and videos. But the Avata is just, like, fun to fly. Like, I just look forward to getting this drone in the air and just buzzing. Ooh, I wanna go underneath of that beam right there. All right, let's spin it around. That's going to be our objective. For me, I love flying low to the ground, especially when you get the motion blur from the ND filter. Yeah, that's the best. So I have an ND32 on here. I'm not sure if it's going to be too dark. Hopefully ISO isn't jumping up. Woohoo! Yeah, baby. That was fun. Yeah, this is just so much more fun to fly than the FPV drone. Now, don't get me wrong, the FPV drone has its benefits. It's fast. I think that's the only benefit. But it's just so fragile. All right, we got a low battery. I've been having too much fun. Let's buzz this thing back. We'll hit the door, of course. Man, this is just nothing but ruins back here. Just steel, rock, concrete. Everything is all messed up. I can't wait to see what they turn it into. Apartments, probably. I would say apartments is going to be the absolute thing. Living down here in Manayunk, they're turning everything into apartments, but it could be condos for sale. Okay. Bringing this bad boy in. Let me land this, and we will throw in another pack, because I'm having too much fun at this spot. All right, so the goal for this flight here is to do a little bit more flying, I think, around the stacks. So, let's see. We spent a good amount of time buzzing around the ground. Whoop. Man, that thing is loud. What are we at, 30 degrees? Yeah. So we spent a good amount of time buzzing along the ground. I'll probably do a little bit more of that during this flight. But I also want to spend some time flying up and around the stack area. So let's do a couple of little twists and twirls around there. And then we'll also do some more like exploring, throw it in sport mode, and just take a look at what it looks like up close. So, I don't know. Again, like, this is the aspect of my game that I really want to work on in terms of FPV. Is just like, you know, the dives, the twists, the twirls, the stuff that people like to do. Like, this is a lot of fun. I'd love to be able to connect this and, like, go through that gap right there. That would be a lot of fun. But I might not have a drone to come back with if that happens. Whoop. See, none of the stuff that I do has any rhyme or reason. I just feel like I'm having fun. But I guess that's all that matters, right? All that matters is that you're having fun. This is also what I feel like the Avata was not really designed for. Like, I feel like the Avata is great for cruising along the ground and not necessarily flying freestyle, if you will. Let's see. This will be cool. Why don't we try to fly low to the ground, fly through the door, and then up towards the stacks. Like this, and then we fly up, and then we show the stacks, and then we go up and over, and we spin around. I'm just kind of doing the same thing over and over again. There we are. I'll tell you what, the dynamic range, I haven't been in the goggles with the Avata in a while, but just like the dynamic range and the colors pop so well with this camera for what it is. DJI has gotten really good with these smaller sensors at pulling the most out of them. I mean, that's why we see it in like the Mini 3, the Air 3, and the Avata. So like somebody that I think of when I'm doing stuff like this is, I don't know his exact name, but on Instagram, it's Ken FPV. His stuff is so good. I see him ripping abandoned buildings all of the time. And I just sit there and think to myself, like, man, that would be fun to do. And I kind of have that here, which is cool. But I have nowhere near the skill as him. He's also not flying an Avata. He's flying something completely custom. All right, let's try to do this again. through the door and up. Cool. Now what are we gonna do from here? Dive up and over. Woo! That was cool, I think. I don't really know what I did, but it kind of looked fun. I am destroying the battery right now. We're at 52%. We've only been flying for 3 minutes. All right, let's take a chill pill real quick. Throw it in sport mode. That's what I love about these FPV drones from DJI. Just throw them in sport mode and chill. So this whole area up here, this is where we've got to watch out because we do have the wires. Like I see a wire directly to our left here. I want to go up and look down in here. I don't even want to know who climbed this to tag it up with graffiti because they've got balls of steel. Now, could you imagine having to climb all the way up here? No, all the way up here. There's a ladder that goes all the way up here. Our height right now is 187 feet. And this ladder doesn't even have an end to it, right? Like the ladder, what, do you just use this to look down and into the stack? I would assume so. Nah, that's not for me. This is why I keep 2 feet on the ground and just fly a drone. I do love all of the intricate detailing though. Let's see if we can do, I'm going to throw us back into manual here. I think it'd be really cool to get an even closer dive down towards the towers there. So flipping around, coming up, and can we hug the towers a little bit more when we dive down? I mean, yeah, all right, that was okay. That was okay. I'll tell you what, I'm feeling a lot more comfortable flying FPV right now than I have in the past. It's something that, you know, is fun for me to do, but I've never really pushed myself to get better or to experiment more. And just flying in this area out here has been so much fun. I'm going to be actually really sad when they finally tear it down. Like, I'm glad they're finally doing something with the land, but I don't know how much longer I'm going to have with this until... Should we do it? Nah, he's going to close it. Nope, I was going to go through. That would have been crazy. Let's do another dive down. Sucking up a ton of power. Oh, that sucked. Oh, did I touch... I almost put it right inside of the tower. That would have been a way to end it, right? Turn off the remote, turn off the goggles, and just leave. Don't even need to worry about getting the drone back. Oh, man. Woo! Fly up and over. I feel like I'm getting limited on my power right now because of the low battery here. That's the thing, is in that dive, it feels a little bit squirrely. The drone feels a little bit squirrely, I think, just for the sole fact that it's got so much, I don't want to say weight to it, but it's got so much, like, room to catch air, right? Like, it's got the prop guards on it, so, all right. Well, that was a very short flight because we were ripping, but a great way to end the video. This is going to be an awesome spot to continue to come to. It'll be cool to kind of see what they do with this area. You know, Manayunk, this area of Philadelphia, they're really building up with new homes, condos, apartments, and things like that. So while it is really fun right now to fly through, once it starts construction, it'll be cool to kind of see this area actually get some use for once in, gosh, probably decades since this factory's been running. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts on this style of video. Really, I haven't done much FPV flying over the years on this channel. It's really been more about the Mavic and stuff like that. But right now, this flight has really reinvigorated my love for the Avata. So let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And as always, I'll talk to you later. Peace.